Get in, nerds. We're playing Victoria 3. We're still playing as the Bonapartists, trying to get Bonaparte into power. The people do want right of assembling. The Bonapartists do not necessarily care that much about that, so I think we might just go ahead and pull that off. That's something we can really live with, I think. Most of the government will support it, and the Catholic Church will be furious, but maybe they'll just kind of let it happen. Okay, alright. Chances are not bad. So we'll see how that goes. Something a much larger movement to enact no colonial affairs. I don't want that. Did the Catholic Church get... Oh, interesting. They're pacifist now. Neat. Gosh, our market is in a tough situation. Aren't we producing any explosives? Where's my chemical plants? Because fertilizer is not expensive enough. Alright, so we'll grab a few more farms and we'll transition them. Oh, not Oran. We'll keep that simple farming for now. We'll do the ones that are in France first. So hopefully that will make these buildings a lot more profitable, which they should be. Go ahead and increase the speed here. And that'll get them producing more explosives. Yep, here we go. So now they're increasing in employment. So that will increase explosives output. Yep, there we go. And what does that do to the explosives market? That means we're basically good to go. Although now we want an even larger amount. So I think I'll keep these two trade routes. Not the Prussian one. I think I'll keep the English trade route. Interestingly, we can't import additional engines, and Russia doesn't want nearly so much of our wine anymore. So that's sad. Nor does Austria want to sell us iron. I mean, we've been building up all these iron mines, so that's not shocking, actually. Yeah, our iron situation's pretty solid. Still having an engines problem. We've got motor industries working. So, Victor de Broglie endorses the Orleanist cause. Victor de Broglie has pledged the landowners in full to the Orleanist cause. While ambitious, his statements have aroused controversy, both within the landowners and without. My heart for Orleans. An auspicious day arrives for House Orleans. Prolific royalist and outspoken pundit for the landowners, Victor de Broglie voices support for the house's ascent to Charlemagne's throne. The people of Paris were quick to shout both support and slander for de Broglie's announcement this morning. Continued on page 2. He had best preserve decorum. This gives the Orleanists some progress and gives them some popularity. And you are what? You are who in France? Are you the leader of the landowners? Yes, you are. Okay. Radical. Or, what is good as a reputation if it cannot be spent? Gives them 25 progress, but -1 per month. Interesting. So this will catch them up. But, but actually, because events are so rough for them, they'll actually be reducing. Yeah, I'm going to go with this one. And over time, that's going to be even worse for them. Come on. There we go. Great. So we've completely eliminated the capacity of the Orleanists to challenge us, at least under the current conditions. Forgot why I wasn't having that go on. Okay, we finished improving relations with Austria. We're now going to improve relations with Russia. Now we've got a couple more small powers Europe we can improve relations with. But our infamy is decayed, so it's time to conquer Constantine. Once again, I'm going to mobilize everybody, not because I think this will be a difficult war, but just in case someone in Europe or someone who's got a real army feels a desire to interfere with what I see as an internal French affair. We can go ahead and deal with that. So I still am not adjacent to Hagar, so I can't colonize there. We're nearly at nitroglycerin, and that'll really help our whole situation. Rifling is also spreading to us, which means we'll have that in not too long at all, because we got a bunch of bonus progress on rifling from an event earlier. So that'll be fun. Unfortunately, we've had a bureaucratic imbroglio. You've seen this before. I'm going to take the second one. It's going to annoy our bureaucrats, and it's going to significantly reduce our available bureaucracy, which is going to cut into our cash flow. But I can go ahead and increase bureaucracy. I'm going to do it in Auvergne-Limousin because, once again, that's a place where we have a lot of unemployment. Alright, so we did just finish building another chemical plant, and yet our chemical plants are still not outputting the amount of explosives that we want them to. With that having been said, we're 8 weeks away from researching nitroglycerin, and that will unlock a new production method for explosives. However, I think the next thing I'm going to do is grab a few more of our farms and increase them to the soil enriching farming that takes fertilizer, because the thing is, I want there to be a big market for fertilizer, and in order to make that happen, I need to ensure that that there's plenty of buy orders, because that means that the free market will produce the additional fertilizer, the additional chemical plants that we need. At least I'm hoping that'll happen. As you can see, they are producing some cotton plantations, tooling workshops, iron mines, etc. I can't go too far too fast yet, but I can go where I can go right now. I'm just going to increase the speed here. You know, in my more chill Let's Plays, I've been being more chill about it, but I feel like I can go a little faster. You all kind of know what I'm about, where I'm going with a lot of what I'm doing. Let's pull these government buildings up into the second slot in our construction queue here. Again, I don't want them taking up the primary one. Hey, there's nitroglycerin. So right away, the thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go do an ammonia soda process. That's going to increase the efficiency of my chemical plants. I'm going to cut this explosives trade route. I'm going to cut this engines trade route now that I've got my own engines industry. I'm going to increase the number of farms I have using the new fertilizer, because once again, we're trying to keep these chemical plants as profitable as they can be. And actually, I kind of overproduce explosives now, but I'm sure there will be situations where explosives will be where it'll be more than worth it to produce more and more of them. We're definitely going to be using more oh, right. What the heck am I even talking about? Our mines can use explosives. Kablam. 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 Now you're profitable. I kablammed too much. Now I want way more explosives than I've got. Oh boy, lewd literature. The king has been caught reading a controversial censored book, sparking further questions over over the debate over the right of assembly law. The king is meant to be the exemplar of our values, and the fact that he was caught reading anything as crass as the filthy Sarah coal miner is frankly unacceptable. That was dirty in a more literal way than I thought it was going to be. Embarrassing, but this supports our cause, gives us a heck of a prestige penalty, but a bunch of increased enactment success, or we should make this go away as quickly as possible. I'm going to go with the first one. We'll goof up our... Yes, our king reads smut. Thank you very much. He is a red-blooded Frenchman, and he appreciates a good book about filthy, dirty coal mining happening. Alright, video music player, let's get going here. There's the music player being a little barred off in the corner. So this is actually a very good event for us. We got 50% enactment chance right now. Hopefully that will continue. We finished out our government building, so this next one should cover most of the additional bureaucracy that we need to stay profitable. And it's important for a kingdom to be profitable. Constantine, you're coming with me. So once again, we brought some new territory into the French Empire. Yes, I was worrying about explosives. Let's go back to importing some from Britain, now that we're using them in all our mines. And then we're going to... Fertilizer is also quite expensive, but I'm actually going to make it even more expensive. Because I want the free market producing these chemical plants, and I want it producing them as fast as this little free market legs can carry it. So, swirling discontent. With an upsurge in radicalism affecting France, blame for the uncertainty facing the nation has fallen squarely on the shoulders of King Louis-Philippe d'Orléans and the Orleanist cause. France was no stranger to kingslaying. Its revolutions carried out by fire and shot, and a tidal wave of seething fury unleashed all at once. Likewise, its rulers have come to know the warning signs as well. A spiteful scour here, and a murderous stare there, tinder waiting for the right match. The will of the people is fickle at best. This weakens the Orleanists. The king's reign is worth some broken ribs. Oh boy! Alright, we're going with the first one. That's exactly what we need anyway. Currently have 19 infamy. If we grab Togourt, it'll give us 3.9. We can tolerate that. Let's do it. I'm just going to grab one army here. Did the guy I put in power in... Did he die? The guy I swayed to Bonapartism? Am I stupid? Well, whatever it is, it should be fine. No one's going to go to bat for Togourt, I don't think. We currently have another 34 months truce with Mascara. So we can grab that country at the end of that. And then we'll be able to enjoy delicious, delicious Algeria. I'm not going to integrate these territories right away. Number one, because I don't have the bureaucratic capacity. But also, number two, because I don't want them to move away from, hey, step 1 of 3. I want them to develop pretty good populations of native French people for reasons that will become pretty clear at a later point. I still haven't colonized one of these hexes, which is really silly, but it is what it is. I think at some point I am going to need to balance the needs of keeping my country together, because as you can see, I've got a pretty high proportion of radicals right now. But for now, we'll continue to do everything in our power to push Napoleon III into power. Alright, so there's government admin. Excellent. The capitalists are building chemical plants. So that's exactly what we wanted out of the out of our free market situation. Yes, we're attacking Tagort. Again, we have the Heirs of the Grand Armée event. I'm going to give us some extra progress, because I love that. And with that, Tagort is completely occupied. I'm just going to check how much infamy we're going to get for conquering Ida Bas right away. 6.6. So with our current infamy being at 20.8, we're going to need to wait just a little bit. We're going to need to wait for like a year. Which shouldn't be a problem for us. Ah, finally. Establish a colony over here. Get that growing as well. With that having been said, we may ultimately need to enact no colonial affairs in order to appease our... Excellent. Law progress to voting. In order to appease our movement here, because that's just something we might need to deal with. So, let's look at who will be mad if we do that. That'll make the armed forces unhappy. Ouch. Let's leave it for the time being. I do want to continue colonizing. We are having some instability in France as well. I think it's time to cut taxes. We've developed a good reserve of 13 million pounds. That should see us through most of what we need to handle at this point in the game. So yeah, so we'll go ahead and reduce taxation. That should buy us a little bit of leeway, and it should improve the legitimacy of our government by a little bit, which is something we need to do. Interesting. The industrialists have a positivist in control of them. And the rural folk have a radical, which is what it is. Interesting. The Haitian aristocratic revolt has paid its indemnity and debts in full. Per the terms of its agreement with us, it is now free of its obligations. When the Haitian aristocrat... Okay, so Haiti had an aristocratic revolt and capitulated to its aristocratic revolt. And that I think what happened is that has short-circuited the something in the game's logic, because I don't think this is supposed to happen. When the Haitian aristocratic revolt indemnity was imposed in 1825, in truth, few Frenchmen expected to ever be paid off in full. But against all odds, Haiti has achieved just that, making the final payment at the Caisse des Dépôts et Consignations in France earlier this afternoon. Issue an official congratulation to the Haitian government. Oh, the industrialists are going to be mad. But that improves relations. Austria wants a trade agreement. I accept. I'm happy to be friends with Austria. That'll be very good for us. I'm more than pleased to be friends with the Austrians. Because they're buying our wine. Hey! Here's ya boy! Chastened by his travels abroad and his failed coup, Louis-Napoleon Bonaparte has returned to French borders. Papa, Papa, Napoleon has returned. Which Napoleon would that be, Jacques? Little Corporal, the reigning king, or the Swiss man? The Swiss officer, Papa! He is not deserving of any special treatment. This makes the petite bourgeoisie big salty. Or perhaps he's learned his lesson. This makes him more popular, which I want to do, because he's going to be the king. And he has started a political movement to enact autocracy, which, you know, we might do. Oh God, it's so weak though. No, we're gonna keep it at wealth voting for now. Maybe when you're the king. Maybe once you've gotten control of the government. All right, so popularity of Bonapartist characters has gone way up, so that's almost assuredly him showing up. Yeah, look at that. Everybody likes him. Everybody likes Napoleon. Everything's coming up Napoleon. Cool, so that's lovely. Come on, give me right of assembly. So we got pharmaceuticals being worked on right now. I think at this point, overzealous censorship. The right of assembly law is having trouble gaining popular support as references to it are being suppressed by the current censorship apparatus. Anything regarding censorship is immediately censored, so how on earth are we meant to have an open discussion about it? Not much we can do, reduce enactment chance. Maybe we can skirt the laws a little bit. I'm gonna... Oh, this is a risk. I'm gonna risk it. Yes! We got our chance. Wonderful. So... I think we're going to queue up... I don't need either of these. I think we're going to queue up a bunch more government administrations. Oh, this one. That was nearly a tragedy. So the reason I'm doing that is because, number one, to relieve unemployment in a lot of these areas where there's a bunch of unemployment, but also, and I'm not going to lie, I want to get these areas up to an even number of building levels. But also because I need more bureaucratic capacity. As the country gets more and more volatile, I grow increasingly in need of home affairs and law enforcement, and I will eventually also need social security and education as well, in order to stem the tide of the growing radicalism. Gosh, still? Where are we with fertilizer? Okay, we got 2 chemical plants under construction. So I'm just going to actually go ahead and grab, well, upgrade these production methods. I'm going to go ahead and grab 1 more batch of farms, 2 more batches of farms, but small ones, and flip them over to soil enriching farming, because I really want to keep the fertilizer demand high so that the game continues to produce enough chemical plants to build the explosives that I need. This is, again, one of those things that you really need to balance pretty well. Okay, and we've got another one under construction. Beautiful. So, I'm going to grab even more of our wheat farms and flip them over to the new method. This might seem like I'm going really, really far, really fast on this, but I have to keep fertilizer really expensive because the free market needs to have a visual to how profitable it is to make those things happen. And here's Perry during the day. Yeah, build whatever that is. It's interesting. I think they might have added a unique French building style, because I don't remember seeing buildings look exactly like this when we were playing as Sweden. Foreign emulation, another stall event. The successes that Serre have seen with its policies of right of assembly have been noticed by supporters of Louis-Napoleon Bonaparte, who point towards it as an example of ideal government. Bonaparte held up the newspaper with an expression of amusement on his face. You see this? This is an admission of victory. It may call us spies, agents of foreign powers, but it also concedes that the change we desire is not indeed something alien without precedent. What succeeded in Serre will succeed in France. Faster enactment and more successful enactment, or France is not Serre. Relation deterioration, but still enactment success chance. I'm going to do this one because I don't want to piss off the armed forces. Oh, come on, we got 65%. Next time we can do it. Where is Serre? I should have checked while I had the thing open. It looked like a flag that was somewhere in Africa. No, it was close though. I don't want to use the search function, so we'll just leave that for now. We're at 15.1 infamy, so let's go ahead and... Actually, you know what? We'll wait on conquering Idabas for now. I do want to... Gosh, I want to squeeze in one more check on right of assembly, though. So we'll do that, and then we'll put a pin in the episode. We're continuing to build up government admin. That's going to be very important. I think as our iron production is pretty much met demand, though, I am going to increase... Ooh, excellent. Rifles. Get that. I always upgrade arms industry production methods. There's rifling. So here's the rifling event. I'm going to go for the thing that gives us progress on repeaters, because I want to get that one next. I'm going to build up some additional construction industries. Just go ahead and get these built. Let's go with 4. Let's go with 8. I'm actually going to intersperse these 2 at the top. Two after not too long. 2 near the end of my current track. And 2 at the end. And probably we'll do more over time, but I just want to keep that going. Another stall event. Gosh. Backroom deals. On the fence with the issue, the industrialist view on right of assembly changed overnight. Paul names Napoleon Bonaparte as the architect of the hidden deal. Napoleon, you were for this a little while ago. Send word to the presses, tear the corruption out, stem and root. This makes the landowner stronger, and it's this folded hand. Stay focused on the law, random chances, corruption is like any other. I don't want a setback. And it's not necessarily a problem if the landowners get stronger, because I think they'll convert over to Bonapartism during, once Louis-Napoleon gets into power. With that having been said, I really thought I was going to make this happen, but it turns out I'm not yet. But it should be fine. I think we'll be able to clutch it out. But with that having been said, that's all the time we got for this episode. I've had a good time. I hope you have as well, and I'll see you on the other side.